Horford.
We still on drop coverage. You still doing that?
Yeah, it gotta be. I mean.
Look at this. Watch him drop that. Tatum in traffic. Celtics take a 10-point lead. And then, oh boy, here we go. But look at this. Steph Curry, everybody going for the ball. Looks like Al Horford rolls on his leg as everybody dives for it. Draymond Green pushing Marcus Smart out the way, gets his 6th foul. Curry in pain. Celtics win it 116-100. Here's Curry and Clay on Curry's injury.
Foot sprain, essentially.
That's what it felt like, and then I'll see how it responds. So, not much other to say. I don't feel like I'll miss a game, though. So, take advantage of these next 48 hours to get ready.
Well, we need him if we want to win this thing, and I know Steph's going to do everything he can in his power to play. So, I am really hoping he's okay because he is our identity, and without him, it will be very difficult.
Wow, we need him if we want to win this thing. Jay Will now in. Jay Will, what is your concern level for Steph's injury?
Oh, of course you're worried. I mean, have you ever had somebody who's 6'9", 245 pounds bang into your leg? I mean, it feels
Roll
different.
up right on it, yeah.
It feels different. So obviously you hope he can play because he's playing at an MVP finals level. Look, Steph's legacy has always been cemented to me. I start getting annoyed at that conversation. Here's what I will say, Pat Bev, though. Coming off an injury like this, if he's able to continue to play this way, if he's able to lead this team after playing this way, obviously with his teammates carrying him, it adds a different pop to it if he's able to do it. It raises the stakes a little bit for him.
Makes him even more of a legend.
Because he's 6'2". He's 6'2", $190. Like, that's not, LeBron is 6'9", like 6'9", 265. Like, these guys are different. He's more like a normal human being.
Yeah. Yeah. And Pat Bev, I look at this, I see this injury. I know he's got 48 hours to get ready, but when you see him, if he's not who he was before the injury, how do the Warriors then maneuver around that?
No, I don't even think it's that. I don't even think it's that deep. Obviously, you know, Jay Will hit on it. Someone fell on his foot, leg, whatever the case may be. Still played through it. Steve Kerr announced that he took him out just because they were down, not because he was hurt. So I expect him to come back. I expect him to come back and be Steph and kind of lead this team towards a championship. Because if he don't, good night. Put them boys to sleep for real because they need him. But obviously, everyone in the world knows that also.
Vince, looks like you're thinking the same thing. As you look at this Steph and this injury, how are you looking at how this plays out in Game 4?
I mean, they both said it and they hit it, right on the head. Steph's going to play. He understands how important this is. If it's a regular season game and he's not feeling well, he would sit out. This is for all the marbles, and it's a lot riding on Game 4 for the Golden State Warriors. So they need the catalyst. Clay said it. He's the guy that makes this engine run. Yes, I understand it's Draymond as far as his emotion, his leader, but offensively, when Steph is out there, he creates and he opens a lot of opportunities out there. So I expect him to play and still play well.
You guys have so much confidence. I think my issue is his specialty is moving without the ball. Obviously, the offense is there. But if he can't move like that, if you're not chasing him all around the court, doesn't that fundamentally change what the Warriors do on offense? Just real quick.
Yeah, obviously it does. But I just look at the history of their training staff.
Okay.
Their training staff, they got Clay back. They got guys who've been hurt. They got them back quickly as possible. So you got to credit their training staff. They've been, a subpar healthy team this year. And I think they're ready for whatever it takes to have them back.
By the way, real quick, BC, before you go, congratulations to Boston for winning the damn game first.
Yes.
I just want to say that. Like, I know we're talking about Steph.
Goes without saying.
Boston won the game now.
Absolutely.
Just want to say that.
And Vince, I know you want to jump in. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I mean, I think. My question to you, Ryan, is he hurt like that? Was he hurt like that where he couldn't perform at that level? I just think it was already out of hand. They had him out there running and doing whatever, but I felt like they pulled him because they didn't want to risk any more injury or something worse happens by maybe somebody else dies for a loose ball more so than he couldn't go any further, any longer.
Okay.
And Ryan, there is a difference between being hurt and being injured. We are talking about the NBA Finals.
Right. It's like where everybody's a little bit dinged up, but still. Let's talk about Draymond, because last night I found this really interesting. He had an interesting exchange with a reporter who asked him if he's giving away game strategies on his podcast. Take a listen.
I don't say much different on the podcast than I say to you right here. So Nah. What's the X's and O's that I said on the podcast? You all right?
He actually asked. The only real thing I noticed that like really stood out, he talked about how to cover White, Smart, and Horford differently between games 1 and 2. That was really the only.
Oh, yeah, that was just contesting shots. If that's X's and O's, then I don't. You reaching for something. It's all good, though. Keep going. Reaching heavy.
This is such a casual take to me. Mm-hmm. Like, it's such a casual thing.
What do you mean?
So, Draymond's been doing his pod since November 15, 2021. So, do we want to say he was giving away strategies after he was probably the best player on the court and impacted the game in Game 2? Like, I didn't hear any of that. Like, it's such low-hanging fruit. Yeah. Like, he played a horrible game. Like, I'm not condoning him not playing a horrible game, right? His stat line was not good. But, like, let's stop with this little stuff like, whoa, you have a pod and you're giving away tactics. Like, get out of here with that. That's such an outlandish, outdated way of thinking.
Yeah.
Like, there's enough time in your day to do a 2-hour pod and still stay committed to your craft. Let's say you were on the court for 8 hours. You slept for another 8 hours. You did your pod for 2 hours. Still 6 hours left in the day.
Yeah.
Like, I just get so frustrated with little stuff like that.
But that's how it is, because, you know, Draymond, he beats everyone to the punch before they can, like, throw it. So when Draymond comes and, like, says, I play bad, now you really don't have another question to ask him.
It takes all the,
so now you
takes all the wind out.
Right, now you want to ask him the little tedious stuff about this and that. So, that's all for the birds.
You know, as we were playing that sound, Vince was looking like, what are we talking about here? Vince, I saw you smiling, laughing. Go ahead.
And Pat Bev, to add to it, it's just like, okay, he asked the question and he said it. Then his rebuttal was, okay, what actually did I say? He said, yeah, you was talking about how to cover him. And he said, contesting shots. Like, okay, so now he feels crazy. So, I mean, it's just, and he said other things, that would consider maybe worse than that. And would that be considered? No, I mean, he's just like, we have to guard better. And it's the truth. He didn't say anything. I mean, anybody knows that. You don't have to play in the league to see that they needed to guard better. Contest the three, protect the three-point line. Like, that's not giving away strategy.
It comes down to this thing. I think what the reporter was trying to highlight there is this idea of distraction. And Jay, well, you mentioned it. It's like if you're doing something else, there might be a distraction there. Are you giving away strategy? Are you doing something like that?
Is it a distraction as an NBA player while you're practicing to build a business at the same time? Oh, because I just saw them bring Adam Silver on the pregame show last night and praise LeBron James for building $1 billion industry. Is it a distraction for a kid who's getting NIL deals while he's participating in college sports? Oh, no, you can do both at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. And to add to that, too, like, as basketball players, only reason you get invited to the podium if you have a good game. So he didn't have a good game. Like, they invited him up there clearly for some type of energy that they want to put on the media the next day. So you just have to be cautious of that because, it's always the top three guys who play well. It's not, they want Draymond on there because, after a loss, he might say something crazy. They can add to this few little media taxes, but I respect it.
And I'll say with this, he is so good at responding to that stuff, just batted it right down. All right, so let's talk about the Warriors. Jay Will.
We've been talking about the Warriors.
I mean, but let's talk about the Warriors.
We've been talking about the Warriors. We've been talking about the Warriors.
Can I tell you why? Because a lot of people picked them to win this series, and now they're down 2-1, and it doesn't look good. Right. Can they right the ship?
I just want to switch it on you, brother.
I know he did. Look at him. He's always doing that.
I have to. Like, I gotta.
By the way, we live like 5 minutes away. So we do.
But I gotta give Marcus Smart credit for the way he had 2 points in Game 2, how he responded. Give Jason Tatum some credit. And I gotta tell you though, we talk a lot about Stephen Curry being the identity for the Golden State Warriors. Like, the more and more I'm watching games in the finals, like, the identity, it feels like, for the Boston Celtics is in the attitude of Jaylen Brown to me, man. Like, the way he approached the first quarter, like, that kind of gritty, like, I don't care, I'm going to be the best player on the court on the defensive side and the offensive side, that translated into how this team plays. I just want to give that some credit and some praise.
And to add to that, you see at the beginning of the game, Jaylen Brown has the ball. Steph Curry comes up for pick and roll. He waves them off. I don't want Steph Curry. I want Draymond. Come here. I mean, and he's been hooping. His ones, he is deep in his bag. I think dribble penetration really killed Golden State. No one can really stand in front of the ball. I think the low man was there too early at times. They were there too late at times. So they got to control that. But if you do look at the game, like, Golden State's up 17-18 first game. They lose. They win by 20. Or whatever, the game 2, they're down 17, come back, take lead. So Golden State feels like you feel like they're in control, but you have to give Boston a lot of credit.
You feel like they're in control, but they're down 2-1 in this series in Game 4 in Boston. By the way, NBA Finals tomorrow night in Boston, 9 Eastern, ABC, ESPN.